Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Panda Boop Creates. I'm Andrea. If you're new here, welcome. I'm a beginner crafter. I've been crafting for about a year now, so I'm definitely not an expert, but I thought I would share my journey of crafting and what I've learned so far and show you how I make projects and how I mess up projects along the way. Today's video is making the Bridgerton frame. I don't know about you guys, but I binge watched Bridgerton in about a day. Very good show, in my opinion. So I thought I would make some crafts surrounding that, especially for Valentine's Day. I decided I was going to make a Valentine's Day craft series, and first thing that came to mind was I burn for you. So here is my video on that. So I found a picture of Simon and Daphne on Google, and I used one of those online converters to convert JPEGs into SVG files. And I didn't really like how it looked completely. Like the background was all weird lines, and I didn't want to include that. I just wanted Simon and Daphne. So I saved the SVG, but now I am opening it up and I'm saving it as a JPEG, which sounds counterintuitive, I know, but follow me here. So to save it as a JPEG, now I can open it up on Design Space as a JPEG and erase the background. So I only have what I want to cut. Otherwise, I would have to go to a million different websites and try to figure out how to get rid of what I want to get rid of and only keep what I want to keep. And I just think that would be more effort. But if you found a really good converter program, then obviously you could skip this step. But I haven't found one yet. Let me know if you do have one and comment down below. And here I'm just deciding if it should be simple or moderately complex. I chose moderately complex just because I wanted it to get the little wisps of the bangs. I was a little worried that if I chose simple, that it would just be like this weird block and it would look strange for her bangs. So I'm just going to speed through here with my erasing. Um, and then you can see me periodically check to see what it would look like cutting wise, just to make sure that I got all of the lines. Because if you don't have all of the lines, then you're going to have a random cut that you don't want when you finally get to your mat. And it might not be, you might not have vinyl there because you didn't even know it was there. And now you're cutting your mat. So check periodically. And then I'm done and I just save it as Bridgerton or something that I will remember. And I click it to insert. There it is. Now I want to size it so that it's actually going to fit on my frame, which I have an 8x10 frame. And obviously, if you make it exactly 8x10, it'll be a little squishy. So you try to make it a little less than that. And you especially want to make it so that it fits on your mat. And then I put my text in. Obviously, I'm going to write, I burn for you. And here I'm just trying to see if I make burn capitalized or not. I didn't really like it that way, so I ended up just making it all lowercase. And when you do cursive fonts, they tend to be separated, they don't come together. And so you end up having to ungroup it and then move them so that they're overlapping, like you can see here. And then I'm just going to do that for all the letters. Move over my words so that they're not weirdly spaced. Now I'm just going to make sure that it's sized correctly again because it got a little too big. Resize everything. And then when you're done, you're going to highlight it all and hit weld. You could attach it so that the words stay directly below it, but in my case, I want to cut the words in a different color, so I don't want to attach it. or else I won't be able to do that. And then I hit make it. Now, I've gone over in previous videos how to know if you should mirror it and what size mat you should be using, etc. In this case, I'm putting it between two glass panels so I don't have to mirror it. If it was going on the inside of a glass panel and there was nothing else to put it on, if you know what I'm saying, then it would be mirrored, just like a regular frame. But mine's not a regular frame, so it doesn't have to be. And then I'm just going to continue. It's going to find my maker and it's going to ask me what materials I'm using. I'm just going to use regular permanent vinyl. So I'm just going to hit vinyl. And then for my pressure, I use less. Actually, for the first time using less, it didn't cut all the way through. So I might have to go to default. So to give you a time frame, I've been using less for a year and it has cut through all of my vinyl perfectly fine up until this point. And then today is when it decided I'm not going to cut all the way through. So I had to tear it in some places because when I checked it coming off of the mat, it seemed fine, but it wasn't cut in all places. So that was my bad for not checking good enough. This is why we check before we unload the mat. And then I load my mat and I press the Cricut button and it starts cutting. And now we get to watch it move. All right, so now that it is done cutting, we take it out of our Cricut. We have to pull the vinyl off of the mat and start the super fun process of weeding. You don't have to pull it off the mat. I choose to because I don't like to get my hands all stuck to the mat as I'm trying to weed. I feel like it ruins it faster getting your greasy hands all over it. But I mean, it's up to you. If you like it better on the mat, you feel like it's more controlled on the mat, then by all means do that. I just like to pull it off. So here we are starting the oh so tedious process of pulling it away. I try to pull it away slowly and use my weeder to kind of like keep the letters onto the backing. As you can see, I'm struggling because it didn't cut all the way through. This was the first time that the less pressure did not work for me, and it was not wanting to come off. Usually it's a little easier than this. Especially with like bigger words. If my words were smaller than this, they would also be this torturous. But since they're a little bigger, this would usually be a fairly easy process. But yeah, it took a really long time. I'm not gonna lie. And then I repeat this for the picture of Simon and Daphne until all of the negative space is gone and all that is left is what I want. Okay, now that I'm done weeding and I spent like 3,000 years doing that, I'm going to take my transfer tape and roll it over so that I can pick up my drawing and my letters to be able to put it onto my glass. Once I get it all picked up, I try to put it on my glass as evenly as possible. I did a not great job of it, I'm not gonna lie. So if you can see that the paper that I put underneath the frame so that I could see it was not straight, and that was not helpful in me determining how to put this on straight. So it's a little crooked. Also, when I put it on the transfer tape, there were quite a few bubbles. And even though I tried to get it off as I was pulling it off of the glass, there were still quite a few bubbles. And it did take a lot of effort to try to get those all out. It also took a lot of effort to try to get those bangs to stay on. My tape was a little too strong. It was brand new, So, word to the wise, if you have delicate pieces like that, try to like reduce the stickiness of your tape a little bit. It will help to make it a little easier to pull off and on, and it won't take those little tiny pieces with you. I just had a new piece and I didn't even think about the little tiny bangs when I was trying to do this. So, yeah, that was a big mistake on my part. Don't do that. And then we put the words back on, and even though the words look a little straighter than the picture, it kind of looks a little strange since the picture's crooked, but here we are. And that's it. And you would put the other glass frame on top if you have the same thing as me, but in your case, you'd probably just have a normal frame. And this would be mirrored, so you'd just flip it over and put it in your frame, and you're done. And there's Simon and Daphne, and I burn for you. I think it's a very good Valentine's Day present, and hopefully your significant other likes it. Hopefully your significant other is into Bridgerton. I know mine's not, so it might not be the best present if they're not, but maybe you have a friend that is, and they can be your Valentine instead. So if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button, comment about what your favorite part of Bridgerton is. Are you going to make Bridgerton things for Valentine's Day? What other videos should I make for my Valentine's Day series? And don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time, guys.